think we're here. Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Carrier, and here with me today is Ambreen, and you're going to learn all about Ambreen and why I'm amazed by her. But let's take a minute here and wait for some people to join us. So, Ambreen, would you actually share this on your page, your personal page, and your coaching group so that people can find this?
Yeah. Can I share it now or later?
Yeah, you can do it right now while we're waiting for people to join us. Yeah.
So do you have a link to share this one? Or?
You are tagged in it, but I will actually.
Yeah, I think you tagged me, and I think it's on my wall. I can just. Yeah. I'm there. I can see.
You found it? Okay. Yeah, so just hit share, and someone is actively sharing this video for us in many, many places.
Yeah.
But I would love to bring in your people as well, so we can have a conversation with everybody.
Yeah.
So hi, everybody. How are you? Well, Ambreen is sharing this video in her group, which you'll hear about today, and on her personal page, and anywhere else she's inspired to share it. I'm going to say hello to you and say thank you for joining us. Please tell me in the comments if you're here. Just say hi. That way I know you're here. You can also tell me where you're from. I love knowing how global we are. So welcome. If you're watching this, you are probably a member of Amy Carrier's classroom. If you're watching it after the first few minutes and replay, you could be anywhere in the world watching this. So we are being shared very broadly right now. And while that is happening, I want to say thank you for joining me today. I'm Amy Carrier, and I'm here today with Ambreen, who's one of the newest mentor teachers in Amy Carrier's classroom. Amy Carrier's classroom is my group on Facebook. It's a virtual classroom where you can learn from now 15 different mentor teachers from around the world. Ambreen is in the UK, and these mentor teachers come in and teach you their expertise. So don't miss any of the live broadcasts. And if you are not a member of my classroom, please join. You can go to amycarriersclassroom.com. My name's down there in the bottom, so you know how it's spelled. Or you can just search for it on Facebook. There's also a link in the description. Hey, William, how are you? Oh my gosh, I have not seen your name in the longest time. William Gostruck. He was a student of mine when I taught blogging. Okay, so you guys are already curious what NLP means. That's what I said, right? Stay tuned and hear what it means and how to change your life. So keep saying hello, keep sharing this video on your timeline, because if you want to have a different mindset, if you want to think differently in a way that's healthy, positive, and helps you build a stronger, more aligned life with the things that you want, I want you to stay here and meet this lovely lady I'm talking to, because this is her expertise, and she's a coach. She does this as a coach, and I have asked her to join my movement of amazing people just volunteering an hour a week to teach their expertise for free.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We've got lots of people here. This is wonderful. So, hi, Anwar. Hello, Anita. Pete, Anita. Oh my gosh, I love you. Hi, Julia. Julia's another mentor in our classroom. So thank you for joining us. Hi, Ling. Hi, Sadia. Hi, Zafran. How are you? Hi, Faisal. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. This is wonderful. So today I'm going to be introducing you to this amazing woman, Ambreen. How do you say your last name? Pervez?
Yeah, Pervez, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Ambreen Pervez is going to be teaching you about how to build a better mindset. And she's using a tool called NLP. I'm actually going to write it in the comments here. NLP. I want to know, Put in the comments if you know what it is, or if you have a guess what it is. I love this. When I heard that,
yeah, like someone asked me, is that a IT program or what? Like, no, it sounds so like an NLP, like no neuro-linguistic programming. What is that about? It was such a fun to like, I was like, no, it's nothing to do with the IT. It's just to do everything to do with your brain.
Yes. Our brains are tools that we can use, and we have never been taught how to do that in school. So, okay, let me then introduce you, Ambreen. Ambreen Pervez is a neurolinguistics and mindset coach. She's calling us today from her home in the UK. And Ambreen, I would love it if you could introduce yourself and tell us why you decided to join this community. And then we're going to talk about what you do and how you can change people's lives.
Yeah. Hello guys, it's Ambreen here. I am an NLP trainer. I am master coach and master hypnotherapist, and I also am master practitioner of timeline therapy. And I love this field because it literally changed my life. Honestly, when I did my NLP, it was like, I was awakened. It was like, wow, it changed my totally, I've done different courses because I've always been interested in mindset, always been interested in helping people since my childhood, to be honest. It felt like a big dream for me to become a psychologist. But then I decided, no, psychologist is nothing, it is still interested, but I was like, no, it's not it's not me. And I ended up being a criminologist. And
that's the amazing part of history. Tell us why.
Because I was interested, why does some people become criminals? Why are they not? Who decides that someone is criminal? So I was so interested in finding why people become homeless. What's the reason that boys, especially men, they fall out of the school? What's the reason that they are more they find that being a gangster, falling out of the school is so cool, especially when they're teen. So I was really interested in that, and I became a criminologist. And later I was like, okay, I'm not interested in reading the reports. I like to meet people. And I became a chaplain. I got interested in spiritual care. So I worked in the hospital, and then I felt it's too much pain. It's too much pain going on. You talk with adults, you talk with children. And I was just doing, many of the time, it was more counseling. But doing NLP, it gave me all the tools I needed to help other people. And not only just help other people, it also helped me a lot. So it's therefore I love NLP, and I can swear it works.
It does.
Yeah, absolutely. It does.
Works. I'm putting up on the screen what it is so that people understand what we're talking about, because there are a couple of guesses.
Neurolinguistic is actually I will say NLP is the language of our mind. Sometimes you have this inner voice coming in and saying things to you. It's we have our five senses. It's all about how you use them and how you interpret the outer world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
okay, you have this interesting background of being a criminologist and being a chaplain in a hospital. You are just curious about the mind and about people and about behavior.
Yeah, it's just so interesting. Even when I have my client, they're from different backgrounds. It's so interesting. I have spoken to women who have been raped in childhood, in their teens, in as when they are in their 20s. And I've also spoken to women who have honor killing in their family, the mother were killed. And I've also spoken to women who are working as lawyers, working as doctors, but somehow they have this imposter syndrome. I think most of the women they go through.
Most women have the imposter syndrome.
It's just going back to, because we believe that sometimes people believe that, okay, just standing in front of the mirror and you will say positive affirmation, I am brave, I am confident, I am I am powerful. But if they haven't dealt with the root cause, it will just be like, on the surface. So you have to, with NLP, what we do that we go back to the root cause. Where are the emotions coming from? And that is so interesting, Okay, if you're having negative thoughts, most people say, oh, I'm just so used to have negative thoughts. Okay, where are those thoughts coming from? What is the reason? Where is that your thought, or is it your parents' thought you have adopted when you were 5 years old? Or is it your teacher's voice telling you that you are not good enough? It's just going back to the root cause and changing that thoughts so they can become more positive and let go of the negativity they have, they are holding
Right.
onto.
Right. And I think that people have this idea, or they've heard this phrase of mindset, and they would like to change their mindset, but they don't know how. And the reality is there's this simple tool, and it involves using literally the tool that is inside your body. Your brain is a tool. You can make your brain do things. And for those of us who have experienced trauma, neglect, abuse, as you were saying, you get these programs inside your consciousness, inside your brain. I talk, even if I'm not talking about NLP, I explain to people that your beliefs are like well-worn pathways in your brain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a neural pathway. So if you got a message in childhood that you are not worthy, and it turned into no self-esteem as an adult, you can go back and you can erase that negative pathway and create a new one or multiple new ones.
Yeah. And I will also say that our negative thoughts, they affect all our cells in our body.
Yes.
And it just imagine if your thoughts are negative, what will they cause in your body? Some people, they will have shoulder pain, joint pain, things coming up for them, and they won't understand. They will take a lot of painkillers, but the root cause is something else.
Exactly.
So it's just so amazing to.
It is. Yeah, the fact that there's a key to changing your life by changing your own brain.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Ambreen, I just want to let you know the way I look for comments, I'm looking at my phone. I'm not ignoring you.
Oh my God. Okay.
I am so interested in this conversation. I'm so grateful that you're going to be teaching about this every week in my classroom. For one, make sure that I can watch your videos as much as I can. There's only 24 hours in the day. I've got all these mentor teachers. This is my volunteer work. So, but this is really important to me because I live with a chronic illness and I had a great deal of trauma as a child. So I know now that the trauma in my childhood led to the perfect conditions inside my brain, inside my consciousness, for me to not think that I was a valuable person. And then my body developed this chronic disease, started breaking down the cells in my body. So I love what you just said about how your language, the neuro-linguistic programming feeds into your cells. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, and I think if you have experienced if you have childhood trauma, so and I believe that every one of us, we have an inner child in ourselves. So if you haven't healed our inner child, it will still pop in, even though how successful you are in your life, but the child will come and create insecurity in you. So what we do, we have something called timeline therapy. And with timeline therapy, we deal with 5 big emotions. And those are anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. There are 5 big emotions which are restored in our unconscious mind. So what we do is that we go back and then we focus on the positive learnings.
Can you list those 5 things again for us?
The 5 is anger, sadness, fear, hurt, and guilt. you
Those
know,
are
and
so
there's
powerful.
also something with shame coming in with guilt, and these emotions, they are not good to have. Like, no, you have to work with them. It's like, no, it's not like no bad emotions. I'm not saying that you should never be angry. It's good to be angry sometimes, but if you are restoring anger since your childhood, then you are creating a lot of illness in your own body and your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So like no, so one have to work with like no, it's a healing process, and it's also like that more like no, like no, the deeper you dig in yourself, that like no, the healing process will become more easier.
Yes.
So yeah,
So can you give us an example of how this works?
I will say, like, no, I also do hypnosis. And some people might think that, oh my God, what is hypnosis? Or are you going to call the spirits? Or what are you going to do? But hypnosis is a process where you are in contact with your unconscious mind. Because sometimes you have something inside you. Like, no, I remember that when I did, like, no, this training on myself, and I said, oh, it's so hard for me to let go of sadness, and they were like, oh, you like, no, I really wanted to let go of the sadness, but I was like, no, I can't let go of the sadness. And I was, I want to let go of the sadness, but I feel I can't. But when they did hypnosis, like in the training, I like, no, you ask your client to rewind the movie of your memories. And
Mm-hmm.
I went back to when I was 15 years old, and I'm talking to God, and I'm saying, oh Allah, please keep me sad because I feel your closeness. I feel that you are close to me, and just that language my unconscious mind picked up,
Mm-hmm.
and it made me that if my friends were having problems, I would end up on the bed and becoming really, I was depressed for them. I was like, oh my God, she's going through a hard time, while my friend the next day she will be fine, but I will be still in my bed feeling all the emotions. I literally could feel their pain, their emotions more than what they did.
Mm-hmm.
So doing this like therapy with myself, it helped me. I realized that I have to change the language. So in my hypnosis, I said like no, God still loves me when I'm happy. I can still feel like no, God's closeness when I'm happy. So
Mm-hmm.
by changing that language, inner language, I changed everything, and it took me, oh my God, 15 years to come to that point. And I was like, oh my God,
Yes.
took me like, yeah.
It's a process, right? Changing
It's
your
a
behavior
process.
is a process,
Yeah.
because
And
it's one thing to use, excuse me, it's one thing to use the neurolinguistic programming or the hypnosis, but
yeah,
that is taking an action. And in order to take the action, you have to create the behavior to do that. So
absolutely.
at first, it kind of feels like an uphill battle, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I will say, like, no, like when I do NLP and hypnosis with my clients, some of them, they feel like, no, oh no, we can't do that, because becoming depressed, feeling low energy, it becomes a part of their comfort zone, even though they are not happy. Just breaking that barrier of the circle they have, victimhood or whatever they have created for themselves, stepping out of that, it's painful.
Right.
Yeah, it's painful. And I will also say that I don't believe in quick fix, because it's a process, as you said.
Yeah.
You know, people want to come and pay you and say, okay, just fix it within a day. No, it's a process, because building new habits, letting go of your old traumatic experiences, all the like negative emotions, it's a process. You have to let go, you have to accept, and then you have to forgive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole process of forgiving yourself, loving yourself, and be able to forgive everyone around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
And then
that's
you're ready to, yeah, yeah.
wow. So forgiving everyone around you, and you have to forgive yourself, right?
Yeah,
Because you might think, oh my God, I haven't done this yet, and I'm 40 years old. I've
yeah,
lost half of my life, but you
yeah,
have to forgive yourself.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
point is not that you haven't done it yet. The point is that you found Ambreen. You found neurolinguistic programming. You found this classroom so that you can get these lessons for free every week.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So you've taken the first step already. And if you're not a member of my classroom, again, it's free. Nobody gets paid for any of this.
Yeah.
So go join Amy Carrier's classroom. Set your settings to see first for this classroom so that you never miss one of Ambreen's live broadcasts. We're so fortunate to have her. But Ambreen, I'm wondering, what is actually, other than joining the classroom and catching your live broadcast, what's the first step? If you're working with either 25 people watching or one individual one-on-one, what's the first step?
The first step is to recognize and accept your feelings. Because most of the time, when you're having like heavy feelings, you want to run away. People do marathon on Netflix. They start eating unhealthy junk food. They want to, some starts drinking alcohol, smoking. So they want as I said, quick fix. They want to run away from their problem. So the first step is to recognize them and accept that, okay, I'm feeling that, and where are the emotions coming from? And then number two will be to take a step towards your healing. Find someone who can heal you, who can help you in this process. And I would say, I'm so grateful to be here, Amy, and I'm so grateful that you kind of are giving me this opportunity to help people around the world for free, because it's something I want to give back to the community. So thank you so much. You're doing such a great job, honestly. So I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. I was so delighted to learn about you. I guess it was someone who connected us, right?
Yeah.
I was so delighted to hear about you, not just because now I know you have a virtual assistant as well. So yeah. But as soon as someone actually told me about you, and I learned that you teach, you practice NLP, I said, okay, that's it. Because NLP is something that I try to incorporate in my life every day. Because I'm one of those people who has very deeply ingrained background, history of very low self-talk. And that comes from abuse and neglect and, messages from society, messages from your family. And I've seen a lot of people in this classroom who have almost no self-esteem. And who think that they are not worthy, especially because when I started doing this, my passion is getting people to turn their ideas into businesses and change the world, right? But so many people, when I was doing this, they would say, I don't believe in myself. I don't think I can do that. There's no way I could do that, or no one will give me money. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, this is me witnessing the world, kind of a reflection of me. If you do not believe in yourself, you cannot do anything for yourself. So I was so delighted because I know that this has helped me so much. So, and I'm grateful for your gratitude for being here as well. As you're starting to see, and as you're starting to see, this is an amazing little community we have. All of the other mentor teachers, we all help each other.
Yeah, it's amazing to be a part of your team.
Thank you. Oh, I so appreciate that. So I put up on screen a couple things that you said. First of all, there are no quick fixes. And then number one, recognize your emotions. And then number two, take the first step. So do you want to tell us kind of what the other steps are? How does this unfold?
I would say, taking the first step can feel a bit scary. Okay, I want to take first step. What shall I do now? Who shall I contact? And I will also say that before you contact someone, if you contact a coach, always ask for free consultation, because you have to have this gut feeling that, okay, it's a good match. Because sometimes you end up paying, and then you join a program, and then you know that, okay, it's not working for me, but there is no return of your money, because it's your investment in yourself. So you have to choose what's right for you. So always ask, like, can I have 2, 3 sessions? Or like, no, I just need to see, like, no, you need to feel that. And even after one session, if you feel that, okay, positive vibes coming to you, you feel the change, then you know that, okay, this person can help me, right? And I will also say that this journey is your journey. So even though you contact a healer or a therapist or a coach or someone, a psychologist, they won't be able to help you. You have to take your step towards your healing. They will be there, like as a coach, they will be there to support you, to hold you accountable for whatever you're doing, but it's your journey. And don't get divested if you feel like, okay, I've taken one step forward and 2 steps back. It's a part of the journey, and it's not a race. It's not a rat race that, especially when you see on the social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, you see people are enjoying their life, and you feel like you're missing out something. No, you are not missing out anything. Just that you have realized that you need help. That's your first step. And for your inner voice, I would also say that you can write down 5 sentences. Ask, okay, what did my mom say about me in childhood? What did my father said about me? What did my teacher said about me? Or what did my friend said about me? And see if your inner voice if your inner voice is coming from there.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, and then also decide, what qualities do you want to be known for? Who are the people you look up to? What qualities do you like with them? And then write down the qualities, and also write what qualities do you want to be known for. And I will say, write a personal statement. For example, today you create a picture of yourself, right? You visualize yourself being really confident. You visualize yourself being very, motivated, or whatever you're missing in your life. And then you put the life in that picture by believing in yourself. I won't say that fake it. I don't believe in faking it. I believe in fake it. Believe that this is you. You have the full potential, and you can be who you are. Nothing is holding you back, and no one can hold you back.
Right. And one of the things I say a lot to my clients and here in the classroom is, no one's ever going to give you permission to do this. You have to give yourself permission. You have to find something inside of yourself that is worthy of doing this for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, I love this so much. Oh my gosh. I part of me feels like I built this classroom to get to this. Really. Because you can't teach, and I learned this when I was a classroom teacher. You can't teach content without students who are ready for it, right? So ready for it means, do they care? Are they interested? Is there a reason for them to pay attention? Are they going to get something out of this? But kind of the deepest, most fundamental level is, do they believe that they can connect with that content? Can they connect with that dream? Can they connect with the belief that they can become an entrepreneur if they want? So I completely love what you're doing. And I'd like to just pause for a second here and take a look at the comments. Kamla, you're absolutely right. She said, you are an empath, sensitive to other people's feelings, Ambreen. Everybody who's an empath, sensitive, raise your hand. Yes, exactly. Raise both hands. It's often those of us who lack self-esteem because we've spent our lives, especially from youth, from childhood, doing exactly what Ambreen described at the beginning of this video. When her friends were down, she would go into her own depression in order to feel for them what they were feeling. So that, if you're like that, you're an empath. You empathize with other people's feelings.
Yeah,
And it's very likely, if you've lived that way for a long period of time, you developed this lack of self-worth.
yeah,
False belief that you shouldn't take care of yourself first.
yeah.
Do you
And
want to say something about that?
I would say, like, it's just like, the society has also created this image of women, like, being the empathic. They have to care about others. They shouldn't think about themselves. They should sacrifice. So we are living in a society where we have this ideal image of a woman, not
Yes.
thinking about herself.
Yes. Every
Until
society is like
people
that.
realize that, what, it's, you are not selfish when you're taking care of yourself. It's not selfish to love yourself, because in order to love others, you have to love yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Yeah.
Yes. In order to love others, you have to love yourself. In order to take care of others, you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, Ambreen, that was so important. I'm so glad you said it. Um, so let me read a couple more comments. Julia says, this is such important knowledge to share. When people change their thoughts and their self-talk, they can make amazing changes in their life.
I just need to change my site because my computer.
That's quite all right.
Okay.
You do what you have to do. So I love it. While you're getting situated, I'm going to read you comments from a lot of women. So the
Yeah.
last comment I read you is from Julia.
Sorry about that,
The
guys.
That's okay. The next comment is from Kashish, also a woman. She said, agreed. Everyone has their own time zone to achieve the things that they have to achieve in life. Cynthia Reynolds, also from Norway. Do you know Cynthia? Not that everyone in Norway knows each other, but do you know who she is?
I know most of the people, I think. I
So Cynthia says, this conversation speaks to my soul. Me too,
Oh,
Cynthia.
that's fun to hear. Oops.
Yeah. So I'm scrolling up a little bit more. Someone made a note of those 5 negative emotions that kind of trap us: anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt. And someone, also a woman, says, yes, I can totally agree with these. So Umar Farouk Mufti has a question. He says, how can a teacher use NLP techniques in a classroom for primary and elementary students in the classroom? That's a really, really good question, because we have to start with them young.
Yeah. And I believe that, like, it should be a compulsory in every primary school about self-development and mindset, because we learn when we are in that age. We build our belief about ourselves, about our society, about our parents in that age.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so crucial to, like, build up their confidence. What you can do is something called sensory acuity, like, in NLP.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about, like, when kids are, like, when they are younger, their mind is like, they are like that all the time.
Right.
So with that, you can ask them to look at one spot in the wall, to just quiet the mind, like, they have to calm them down. Just ask them to look at a spot on the wall and just focus on that spot. And they can do that for, like, couple of minutes, just, like, quiet, and just focus on that spot. Whatever thought is coming, just let them pass. So I know that with kids who are, like, in the primary school, sometimes it's like, what are we going to do? But it's just, they will be, like, looking at each other, like, and laughing and giggling, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. And also, as a teacher, it's so important to use a positive language with the children. If one child is not doing good work, don't say, oh, why are you always, like, why don't you understand this? Or if one child is coming late for some reason, don't mention that in the class. Why are you always late?
Right.
Or Oh, why are you like no? Why are you always talking? Because then you are giving a signal to that child in front of other children.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that I would say that confidence is building at that age, and also the guilt, because don't make them guilty. And I would say that most of them, we are raised in the culture of guilt.
We are.
Yeah. So the guilt is like, no, we put guilt in our children. Oh, if you don't listen to me, I will do this. Oh, you're not going to get Saturday candies because you didn't do this. Oh, I'm not going to give you like, tablet because. So it's a lot of guilt we build. And we think as parents that we are actually disciplining our children, not only as parents, but as teachers as well.
Right.
So bear that in mind.
Oh, it's so important.
Yeah.
The way I want to sum up what you just said is that the way we talk to children becomes their self-talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
If you make a child feel guilty, they just develop a sense of guilt.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
tell them they always, I'm so glad you said this, they always do something, they start to believe that that's who they are.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
they're the child who's always late, always
Yeah.
wrong, never good at math,
Yeah.
never spelling correctly. Don't
Yeah.
don't do that to your children, teachers or parents or adults.
Yeah. Another thing what we can do with children, especially in the classroom, is to make them say that I am confident, I am brave, I am, since they're children, just stand in front of the class and say, I am confident, I am,
Yes.
brave, I am honest, I am, clever, or I am wise. So they will they will laugh in the beginning. It will be fun,
Yes.
but it will become their, like, if you keep doing that, it will become their inner voice that, I am confident, I am good enough,
Yeah.
I'm worthy. Yeah. I
I
am me and I'm proud of who I am. That's
yes.
the voice of their, like, inner voice.
Yes. And it's so important. So Umar's question was, how do we do this with little kids? It's so important to do it with them because at first they think it's funny, but then they get into it, then they start feeling it. It
Yeah.
becomes part of their, their physical expression. They'll get excited. I am smart. I am funny. I am
Yeah.
capable. That's how
Yeah.
they will do it. When I work
Yeah.
with adults and I ask adults to repeat after me the things I'm saying to them,
Yeah.
I watch the subtle the micro expressions on their faces, and it's disheartening, it's sad because they don't believe it. When I ask a client or a friend or an adult to say that they love themselves,
Yeah.
I see pain, I see wincing. When I ask them to say that they're strong leaders or capable employees or creative, I see this. They don't believe what they're
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
on their face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what's your experience? How long do you think it takes? Obviously, everyone's different, but can
Everyone is different. Yeah.
there's like a sense of how long doing this daily, weekly, like how does it unfold?
I would say, like, no, to build up a habit, it normally takes 30 days.
Hmm?
But my personal experiences with my clients that they still need some guidance. So I would say 3 months, 6 months will be like no ideal for them to, because it's just letting go of themselves and building themselves up. And they need someone who can hold them accountable, who can support them on their journey.
Okay,
So yeah. And
right.
as I said, it's not like never a quick fix. So it takes time. It's a journey.
Yes.
And
And
through
I'll answer that question from my perspective. It's a lifelong journey. I fall off the wagon, so to speak, and I have days where I am just in a funk. And later in the day, I can remind myself, or someone else will remind me, I have to pull up. I actually have this visualization that I use sometimes in coaching, but definitely with myself. To fly an airplane, you're holding these sticks, right, to kind of steer the airplane. And if you want to go down, you push it down. If you want to go up, you pull them up. So I have said to myself, if I notice that I'm like down in the funk, which only creates more funk, I go, all right. I'll just pull back. And sometimes I'll feel resistance because I'm really down low and I want to move up much faster. But I pull back, and go up.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you,
That's it.
important to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Have 5 great days and then 2 and you realize that you're feeling so awful. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, and we have also this idea of having a great day every day. You know?
Right.
Like you say, oh, have a wonderful day or have a lovely day. No, have a normal day, you know.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to be normal. It's okay to have a normal day, not
Right.
just a random day. It's okay.
Right.
You know, you can't have great days every day because otherwise you won't appreciate those days. So it's okay to have a like kind of, you know, normal day without,
Yes.
you know.
Right. Exactly. And recognizing that you know what a good day feels like because you've had bad days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those bad days have been valuable.
Yeah. And I will also say that bad days is not so bad as we believe them to be because there is a lot of learning in bad days. It's like, you learn a lot, even though you feel pain, even though you feel like, hurt or guilt or fear or anger, but there is a lot of wisdom behind those days as well.
Yeah.
Because you won't see the wisdom at that time, but later on, you can look back and just see, okay, this is was the the learning from this event or this day.
I love it. Ambreen, I love this. My mom is watching. She said, my mom,
She's so proud of you.
oh, thank you. Um, she says she's giving you a compliment, very good analogy you just made. And then she says that she tells people to have a pleasant day, which I've recognized that she says. And, Mom, I'm kind of curious why you say a pleasant day, because I think, what Ambreen, sorry, I'm trying to close the blind because the sun shining on.
We both are having those days. I'm fixing them.
I know. You have to move a lot. But yeah, and I think Ambreen's point bears repeating, that don't expect to have every moment of every day be amazing, because that's kind of, I mean, if you can get to that point, wonderful, good for you. But don't beat yourself up if you can't get there, because life comes at us, bad news comes at us, and a flat tire comes at us, and whether you believe that you create these things in your reality or not, they still come. They still give you an opportunity to face a challenge, to face, I've heard it referred to as contrast, right?
Yeah.
So that you can move past it, so that you can learn not to take it personally, not to let it destroy your sense of this is a good day, or your sense of I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah. I would also say that our mind is so powerful that all those days, even the bad days and low feelings, is just a state. So it's totally up to you to decide how long you're going to be in that state.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally up to you. If you're feeling low, you can it's totally up to you if you want to feel low for 1 week or 1 day or only 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You can decide to get out of that state. But by saying that, it's also as you said, life is throwing, it's coming towards us. So sometimes, even though you are thinking that, okay, I'm just going to be in an amazing state, but then something happens which is not so amazing,
Right.
So, yeah.
Now, I just want to tell you all one thing that I do, and I'm not perfect, so I fail often. But before I open my eyes in the morning, when I'm starting to be calm, conscious, I just start saying, today is going to be an amazing day. I'm going to have a great day. That's the first self-talk I want to have.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those people who wakes up and my mind instantly starts going and thinking about the things I need to do and the things I didn't do. So I have trained myself to just start by talking to myself that way. So I just want to give you all that tip if you want to try it. But more than that, I want you to come back and join Ambreen for her weekly live lesson. So Ambreen, what is your day and time that you will be going live?
It will be on Thursdays, 12 p.m. UK time, and I think it will be 7 in the morning for
7 a.m. New York time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then it will be in the group, so they can come and, watch and join me if they're awake.
Wonderful. Well, so all of our mentor teachers, they're all over the world. They span from LA to China. So when they go live, it's a different time. So if you're fortunate enough to be able to watch live and interact with Ambreen and write comments and ask questions, that's wonderful. If you're not, you can still write comments and post questions in her live video thread. But beyond that, you can post questions in the classroom and she can answer them. Tag her. And just make sure that you tune in every Thursday. If you can't catch it live, so 7 a.m. on a Thursday, I won't be able to watch it live unless sometimes I randomly wake up way too early and it'll work and then go back to bed. So that would be a good thing for me to do Thursday. So I encourage you all not to miss Ambreen's weekly broadcast, because as you've seen already today, there's a tremendous amount of value. And if you feel like you just got the knowledge you need and now you can go apply it in your life, wonderful. I guarantee you're not going to get it right the first time or the 20th time. You need a coach. You need encouragement. You need reminding. And that is what Ambreen has agreed to bring to the classroom and to all of you who are watching. So let me just take a quick look before I ask you for your final words. Let's take a quick look at the comments to see if there are any final questions or comments that you have for Ambreen. Oh, my mom left a lot of comments. She says, a wonderful day is unrealistic. So that's why she chooses pleasant. More real to her. You're funny. Zubida says, trying to look for the good in any situation. That's a great attitude to
Absolutely.
And my mom says, gratitude is a great way to start the day. Yes, Mom. Taking classes in Amy Carrier's classroom. Julia says, I will have to watch replay of your lessons too, Ambreen. It's 4 a.m. Okay, so any other questions, comments? Kashish says, give every child a chance to speak and voice their opinion of self-confidence and create isolation room for those who are out of control. I think what she's saying is create a space for those who are out of control. Do you want to say anything about that?
Create a place for those who are out of control. I would say that there was a research done. I don't remember them authors who done that, and they did they took kids one group. They were kids who were just getting the best grades, they were really high achievers. The other group, they were they was getting 3. I don't know how the grades are in America, but here we got in Norway we are A is the best, and B, and then C is normal. So the other group, they were getting C, but the researchers, they told their teachers that the best group, the high achievers, these kids, they are normal, they get C. And the other groups, they're the one who were getting C's, the researcher told the teachers, they are the best students. So the way teachers were perceiving that information and the way they were behaving, so those who were high achievers, their grade went down, and those who were normal, their grades went up.
Right.
So I would say it's totally up to the teachers as well when they teach their students. So if we separate them, like, okay, you are being naughty or whatever in other room, we are, again, this is my criminologist coming out. We are creating outsiders in our society.
Yes, I agree
And
with
we don't want to create outsiders. We want them to be a part of the group,
Yeah.
even though, and no one, like, not everyone will have the same background. We don't know what kind of background these kids have, where they are coming from, and what their interests are. But we can't treat them equal. Like, no, okay, these are the, like, no, let us say these are the naughties, go there, and these are the good ones, be here. We have to, like, kind of see their realities and treat them according to that as well. Yeah.
I agree with you. I do not agree with isolating a child.
Yeah.
That is destructive
Yeah.
because socially it's destructive because all the other children know that that child is gone. But
Yeah.
it's personally destructive because if a child is misbehaving, there's a reason.
There is a reason.
If you are not willing to find what the reason is and help that child and you just want to push them away, you're going to
Yeah.
dangerous for that child. They are less safe because I've heard about tribal practices in Africa that take the so-called bad people from the tribe, the ones who commit crimes or steal or whatever, and they bring them into the middle of the circle in the tribe, and the tribe takes turns telling that person what is great about them.
Yeah.
Because the person obviously doesn't have a good sense of themselves.
Yeah.
So they feel like they need to hurt other people because they feel hurt. So if you shower someone who is hurt, if you can shower them with love and acceptance and help give them the space to change and to become aware of their own behavior, I think that that's very positive.
Yeah. And I also feel like nowadays a lot of kids are depressed because there is a lot of pressure on them.
So much academic pressure. It's so unnecessary.
Yeah. So as teachers, you have to be aware of that as well.
Yeah.
You know. So I believe that teachers, they are doing a great job. You know, it's a big responsibility. They're raising the future generations. So I have a huge respect for the teachers.
Yes, me too. I was a high school teacher, and I have said to people who teach younger kids, you are the saints. When I teach high school kids, I'm talking to them like they're adults. I respect them the same way I would respect a peer. That for me was easier. If you're talking about raising an 8-year-old, just thank you. In every possible way, because I think the younger kids, that's the most important, the greatest challenge. Not that my work isn't important, and my work now here is not important, but I really value that. And so we are right at 2:00 my time. We are up against the hour, and this I could keep talking forever because I love this topic, and I think as well. And I love how many women are commenting on this. It's almost all women, which is amazing. Hey, Lisette, how are you? Our other new mentor teacher. I'm so excited to have you talk about all of these things. And I hope you'll actually talk about that last topic that came up, isolating children, connected to your history, your background in criminology, and how we help people who are maybe, on the outskirts, people don't want to deal with. How can we help them?
Yeah.
So, thank you so much.
Great to be here.
Yeah, for agreeing to be here. And I would love it if you would just kind of wrap up our introduction of you today. What are your final words, things you'd like people to know about you or do? Do you have a call to action for anyone?
I would say, if don't give away your power. You have the power to be who you are, and you have the power to achieve what you want in your life just by using your brain, because our brain is so powerful. So if you join Amy's classroom, you will not only learn about NLP, but you will also meet other fantastic mentors and also Amy and learn from her. So that's my join this class.
Yay! We love her.
You feel the power.
Well, thank you. Yes. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you here talking about this. I think you're going to get a really big following. And just so that anybody watching this knows, Ambreen, if she hasn't already, she's been guided to make it so that you can follow her public posts on her personal Facebook profile. But, don't expect her to add you as a friend. Build a relationship with her to get to know her. So I encourage you to do that. And thank you so much, Ambreen. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you for contributing something so essential in the soft skills category to what we're doing in this classroom.
Okay.
And I hope you have a wonderful night in the UK. And
it's still I think 2 p.m. there.
Yes, it's 2 p.m. exactly. So I'm really excited, and I want to spend more time talking to you one-on-one. So I don't know, maybe you and I can have another joint session in the future. So
great. Yeah. Would love to do that, and I hope the followers or the audience would love to have us together.
Yeah, would you guys tell us in the comments, please? But what I'm going to be doing, last week I introduced Albert Nashan, who is a new mentor teacher teaching social entrepreneurship. He is in Nairobi, Kenya. Today it's Ambreen. She's in the UK, and we've got 3 more weeks, 3 more Mondays of me introducing mentor teachers over the next 3 weeks. And you will see them all coming in. And I encourage you to just learn everything you can, because this is free. And it's not a gift. It's like, this is literally my whole adult life, my whole career. I have built programs by bringing in mentors, bringing in experts. I know a lot, but I get tired of hearing myself.
This is just an amazing concept,
Thank you. Yeah. Well, this is community. We can't all be together in person, but we can still build a really valuable community, and that's what I wanted to do. And I'm just so grateful. Okay, I need to say goodbye. I don't want to say goodbye. Yeah. Well, I hope everyone watching has enjoyed meeting Ambreen today. Be sure to tune in at 7 a.m. New York time on Thursdays to watch her live broadcast. We put everything in New York time because everybody on the planet knows where New York is, and then they can find the time in New York. And make sure you go to the classroom group and check out the new schedule, because you'll be able to see when all, I think, 14 mentor teachers will be broadcasting live in the classroom now. Click on the pinned post. There's also a very easy time zone converter, so you can figure out what time lessons are in your part of the world. And on that note, thank you all. If you are not a member of Amy Carrier's Classroom, please join today. It's a group on Facebook. Go to amycarriersclassroom.com and join, and get to know all of us and get to know each other. Post questions in the classroom. You've got 14 teachers who literally, when anybody posts a question, and I'm trying to create that mindset in our classroom, post questions. You're not the only one who's going to learn, but I see it. You get a dozen mentor teachers jumping on answering that question. What in the world are you going to get 10 or 12 experts answering one of your questions? Never. Only in my classroom. Ask away.
It was a great opportunity.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, so everyone have a wonderful day. I will see you all next week, Monday at 1 p.m. New York time. I love you. I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.